Okay, so whether you're just thinking about starting a poultry farm or a mixed farm project, there are plenty of things that I think you need to know before you get started. Obviously, when I first started this journey of starting a 25,000 capacity, 25,000 chicken layer capacity poultry farm, one of the things that I wasn't one of the things that I didn't know is the fact that how optimistic I was, even though I knew that there would be challenges in the beginning of my journey to raising 25,000 chickens and then starting to collect the eggs, which is primarily the beginning of where you start seeing the revenue coming into your business. And the challenge for most people who are starting a poultry farm is 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 how optimistic they are, and because of this optimism, you often overlook the challenges that comes along with raising chickens, and I think it's one of the most popular factors that actually a lot of people who have tried to go into poultry farming or even a mixed agribusiness have actually faced. And the biggest challenge is the raising the chickens from when they are day old to actually when they are about 16 or 18 weeks old. Uh, in my case, I think what I underestimated mostly was not just the impact it was going to have on the resources that I had. So while most people are going to tell you that you can start as little as or as much as you want, I think one of the things that they are not providing you is the actual numbers behind the scenes, how much each chicken, like first week, is going to consume, and how much feed you're gonna have to increase on when they are 2 weeks old, when they are 6 weeks old, or maybe when they are 12 weeks old. Because at each and every level, when these chickens are growing up, the feed capacity continues to change. So in my case at the moment, I'm at the earliest stage of my 25,000 chicken layer capacity. It means as I go, even though at the moment my chicken feed intake is at 400 kgs, which is roughly about 8 bags. I think on a day-to-day basis, when you start calculating how much money is going in, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And the worst thing that can happen to you is feeling overwhelmed or running out of resources in the middle of raising these chickens, because they are already in your chicken house and there are no two ways about it. You have to make sure that each and every morning they have those 8 bags, right? Which is about 50 kgs per bag. And that's 400 kgs that you have to make sure that these chickens are fed in the morning and in the evening, right? So it, it's okay to feel excited and enthusiastic about the potential that the chicken farm is going to bring to your, to your portfolio of investments that you're putting in. But I don't want you, if you're thinking about starting that chicken poultry farm, then you should overlook this. I think having a solid production plan that's been put in place with solid numbers of how much chicken feed you're going to have and how long this is going to take you, at least before you start collecting the eggs and maybe starting to see a bit of revenue coming in. It's very important. The other thing I think is what I would call informed, pessimistic tendency that I see a lot of people kind of like experience. When you're getting started with your poultry farming journey or mixed farming journey that you're doing, I think you sort of like graduate into to a level where now you know and understand exactly the challenges that you are facing, and you start having this pessimistic, you know, experience or attitude that now you know the challenges that because you're dealing with them on a day-to-day basis, and then I think it's easy to kind of like get discouraged or probably maybe think about giving up. And I think is kind of like a drop zone for a lot of people. But the good thing about being pessimistic, because you are now informed, you know exactly what challenges and what problems. And I think at the moment, with my 25,000 chicken layer capacity, that's where I am at the moment, because I have experienced some challenges. I have experienced chicken feed shortages. I have also experienced human resource management issues. Those are some of the things that I've kind of like learned on the job. These are not things that you're going to learn while standing by before you actually get started. It doesn't matter how you get started. You are going to get to a point where you knew nothing about poultry, or you knew very little, or maybe you thought the information you had was good enough to get you to the finish line. But now that you know exactly what's happening in the industry, you become informed about it, and now you begin sort of like dealing with these issues now as they come. So that's the stage I think where I am at the moment in my journey to raising 25 chicken layers in my chicken houses. All right. And I think the next stage is going to be where now you're sort of like on a valley of despair. I've kind of like experienced a little bit of that, but I'm not yet kind of like over that, because in the valley of despair is where now I think pretty much you feel desperate that I think you should do you should do you should start seeing a bit of revenue, or maybe a lot of other things that you thought probably maybe they are not, a lot of other challenges that you experience as your production, as your project is going on, is going to sort of like come to a climax. You can see the finish line, and yet you still have a lot of challenges going to reach there. So at that valley, because you are always alone on your own, there's nobody to help you. There's nobody to come and rescue there. I think that's where you need to kind of like lean on your network of support, people that you can count on. They don't have to be people who are going to come and give you money, or come and give you resources, or come and give you any help that's going to help you push towards the cross line. But I think having a community where you can actually go and hang out with people who are doing either same stuff or slightly, in the same industry, it's going to help you, muster the energy so that you can go and cross over to the finishing line. And I think each and everyone who is thinking about starting, or anybody who's just started a poultry farm, I think should think about joining an online group where you can kind of like get emotional support when things get a little bit difficult. I think those are some of the things that I thought I should share with you guys in this video about starting a poultry farm, and pushing it to a point where now you've started seeing revenue coming in. Because I don't want to lie to you guys, the biggest challenge for each and every poultry farming adventure, I think, is crossing over from day one to a point where now you're not just spending the money, but you're actually spending the money, but also seeing revenue coming into your farm. All right. So, like I've mentioned in my previous video, I have a few series where I'm sharing some of the wins and some of the challenges that I'm facing and some of the losses that I'm facing, that I'm experiencing along the way. And for some of you guys who wants to follow me along the way and get updates as we go along, make sure to subscribe on this channel, and I'll continue sharing some of the experiences and what I'm seeing, and the any form of knowledge that I'm sharing, so that you guys, if you're coming behind me, you shouldn't have to go through some of the things that I think I'm experiencing, but you should be able to learn where the landmines are so that you can avoid them. All right? Cheers.